Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into a really significant legal story.
Yeah, the federal trial of Sean Diddy Combs. It started May 14th in New York.
Right, and the charges are serious. We're
Yes.
talking sex trafficking, racketeering.
Transportation for prostitution, too.
Hmm.
Potential life sentences are on the table.
And it's crucial, to state up front. Combs has pleaded not guilty.
Absolutely. So we're looking at reports from the first few days, trying to pull out the key
See
information.
what patterns might be emerging from the early testimony?
Exactly. That's the mission for this deep dive.
Okay, so let's start with arguably the biggest piece so far.
Yeah.
Cassie Ventura's testimony.
Mm-hmm. His former partner and, yeah, a key witness for the prosecution.
What are the reports saying stood out from her account?
Well, she gave this really detailed testimony alleging she was coerced into what she called freak-offs.
Okay.
These were described as like drug-fueled sexual encounters that Combs allegedly orchestrated.
For what purpose?
According to her testimony, it was for his voyeuristic fantasies. She spoke about the huge emotional and physical toll it took.
And it wasn't just the coercion aspect, right? There were allegations of direct physical violence.
Yes, really disturbing ones. She testified about being handed a loaded gun while she was apparently under the influence of mushrooms,
Wow.
and also about regular beatings, saying they caused head injuries.
And then there's that surveillance video from 2016.
Right, the hotel footage. It reportedly shows Combs assaulting her. That's obviously a major piece of evidence the prosecution is leaning on.
Okay, so shifting from her specific testimony, the prosecution seems to be painting a much broader picture.
Definitely. They're claiming this wasn't just about Ventura, but part of a larger criminal
It's
enterprise.
an enterprise spanning
How long?
over 2 decades, is the allegation.
Yeah.
Exploiting women through forced labor, sexual exploitation, other crimes.
And suggesting he didn't act alone.
Correct. Alleging assistance from employees and associates around him.
And the number of accusers involved in lawsuits is pretty staggering. It is. Reports mention over 120 people, men and women, have filed suits,
With a wide range of allegations.
including claims involving underage victims, drug-facilitated assaults, even rape and molestation allegations.
And again, just to be clear for you listening, Combs denies all of it. His stance is that all interactions were consensual.
That's his position, yes.
Let's touch on the courtroom itself, the jury.
Okay, so it's 8 men, 4 women, plus 6 alternates.
Any notable details about them?
Well, it came out that 4 have some interest in hip-hop or R&B. And interestingly, 1 juror had actually seen that hotel footage we mentioned.
Did that cause issues?
They all pledged impartiality, even acknowledging the graphic nature of the potential evidence, so they stayed on.
There was also a challenge from the defense about jury selection.
Yeah, Combs' attorney accused the prosecution of racially biased strikes when picking the jury.
What?
But the judge rejected that claim. So the jury composition stands as is.
Okay. What's the timeline looking like for this trial?
It's expected to be long,
Yeah.
at least 8 weeks.
So, many more witnesses to come, presumably.
No doubt. We're just scratching the surface here.
It feels like this trial could really send ripples through the entertainment industry.
I think so, too. It raises huge questions about power dynamics, accountability.
Yeah, and the treatment of women especially.
Absolutely. How this all affects Combs' legacy, the broader culture, it's really uncertain right now.
Wow.
It forces a hard look at influence and, well, alleged abuse at high levels.
So, recapping these initial days, we've got Cassie Ventura's powerful testimony alleging coercion and violence.
And alongside that, the prosecution laying groundwork for this idea of a much wider pattern of alleged abuse.
Yeah, a pattern involving many accusers over many years.
It's how these individual stories potentially fit into that larger narrative of a criminal enterprise that's really striking.
So considering the gravity of all this, the charges, the testimony we're hearing, it leaves you wondering, doesn't it?
It really does. What does this trial ultimately tell us about power, fame, and influence in entertainment? And maybe more importantly, how could the outcome reshape our whole understanding of accountability?